Hi there, teachers. Welcome back. My name is April from Teach Travel Read, and I'm so thrilled to have you joining me on this journey today. Today I'm going to share 10 books with you that you can use during your morning meetings to help you teach those social, emotional, or SEL skills. These books are perfect for those upper elementary students who need just a little bit more than those primary grades. With each of these books, I'm also going to give you an idea for an easy to implement activity that you can do with your students, maybe even some activities down in the links below, you never know, that will help reinforce the concepts that you are trying to teach from these books. So grab your favorite beverage, sit on back, and let's get started. The first book that I'm going to share with you is the book called The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson. A great picture book to read to those upper elementary students. It's great to get students thinking about empathy and courage. Within this book, there's so much that the students can learn from in regards to how to think about their own selves, but then also how to think about others. After you finish reading this book, you can do a simple sharing activity with your students. Have them share when they have had to use courage in order to do something, whether it is at school, at home, maybe out in the world and other places. When has it taken courage for them to accomplish something that they have set their mind to, or that they have had to work to overcome? It's a great way to build that trust and understanding within your classroom. And if you love having discussions like this is a great activity and a sharing activity to do in your morning meeting that you're already holding. The next book that you can read, book number 2, is I Am Enough by Grace Byers. In this book, it's all about self-love and confidence. So knowing who we are and loving who we are, no matter what we look like or what backgrounds that we come from. After you finish reading this book, you can have the students create a self-portrait and a positive affirmation for themselves. Encourage them to write things like, I am brave, I am kind, I am creative. It's a wonderful way to celebrate each student's uniqueness. One of my favorite activity ideas to do with this is to actually take a picture of the students and have them come up with a character trait to describe themselves, and we post that on the wall. Just another bonus idea for you. Book number 3 for you to share with your students is called The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig. This is all about kindness and inclusion. The power that this story has behind the color coding from the beginning to the end is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. An activity idea you could do, because you can talk about kindness, but actually putting it into action. Have the students do something to actually show kindness towards one another or other people within the classroom, in the school, in their grade, etc. Outside of school even. Maybe come up with a free kindness challenge or a bingo for the students to complete, and have them actually put these words into action. Discussing how these small acts of kindness can really make a powerful impact on people is going to make a huge difference in developing those social emotional skills. The 4th book that I'm going to recommend to you is a book called What If Everybody Did That by Ellen Javernick. In this one, it's all about your own personal responsibility. So many times over the years, I've heard students say, well, my mom, or well, my dad, or well, my adult at home. No. We got to take ownership for ourselves at some point. And by the time you're in upper elementary, you should be taking that ownership for your own personal responsibility. In this book, it's talking about the cause and effects of if somebody does this, and then what if everybody does that? And we talk about how we have this ripple effect on when we do something and how that impacts when other people do that same thing. A great idea for this one that you can incorporate in the classroom is having the students create what if everybody did that scenarios. So they come up with a scenario of something that maybe one person does in the classroom and then everybody starts doing it, and how is it going to have that impact on the whole class as a whole unit and a community. Really putting it in those terms that they're going to understand in their day-to-day lives. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet so you don't miss more amazing SEL and classroom management information. Another book that I absolutely love is this book by Dan Santant, After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. Love, love, love this book. Cannot recommend it enough to so many teachers to use in their classrooms. It's all about what happens to Humpty Dumpty after he falls and how does he recover and learn to overcome. It's great for teaching perseverance for sure. If you're thinking about, well, how else can I use this book? One of the other things I like to do is I like to stick some Post-it notes inside my book. Thank you, Jen Jones, for that tip. Of other ways I can incorporate using a book. So for this one, I said growth mindset, perseverance, dealing with tragedy. Those are all fantastic things to use for teaching social emotional skills with this book. After you finish reading this book, you can have students write about a time that they fell and how they had to get back up again. And of course, we're not necessarily talking about the literal falling of a student, but maybe how they have had to overcome some different obstacles in their life of failures. You could also use this as a journal prompt or a time for creative writing. If you're interested in writing prompts, I do have those linked down in the description below. Growth mindset activities are a huge game changer. If a student feels that they can achieve something, whether they truly can or not, it's all about taking that step to overcome what they can actually do. And I do have a full resource available in Teachers Pay Teacher store to go along with this book. The next book I want to share with you is a book titled All Are Welcome, and this is by Alexandra Penfold. This book is all about diversity and inclusion. So reading through and understanding we all have our unique traits and qualities, but everybody is welcome in the classroom no matter what those unique traits or qualities are. A great idea of something to do after you have read this book is to actually have the students create a banner to hang up in your classroom, a welcome banner, an all are welcome banner. You could be creative with that, but then having them maybe include a picture or a self-portrait of themselves into the banner. The next book I want to recommend, I have used for many, many years, and there's tons of resources online for this one, is How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids? And this book is by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. In this book, it's all about kindness again, but then also that empathy and how when you put good out into the world, you get good back. When you put bad out into the world, you're taking away from your own bucket and you're going to feel poorly about yourself. And there's tons of online resources that go with this book. You can implement a bucket filling classroom. I have done that in the past as well. There's just so many ways that you can use activities for this book. Having the students shout out to each other, that's something I like to have the students do several days a week, and that's a great bucket filling activity. It makes them feel good, and it makes their classmates feel good to be able to recognize each other for all of those amazing things that they do. Next book I'm going to share with you, there's a whole series of books that go along with this. This is the most recent one as of 2024, titled The Big Cheese. But Jory John and Pete Oswald have these amazing books that are so great for implementing different social emotional skills. So their books that they have are The Bad Seed, The Good Egg, The Cool Bean, The Couch Potato, The Smart Cookie, The Sour Grape, and now they've released this book, The Big Cheese. And so all of these books have different ideas for you in terms of social emotional learning skills. So The Bad Seed's all about, oh, he's known as a bad person and how does he overcome that reputation, versus The Good Egg, somebody who's cracking under the pressure because they always feel like they have to be perfect. The Cool Bean, how does he really exemplify being what it means to be cool and putting others into that world. The Couch Potato, somebody who just lays around, kind of lazy and needs to get out and do things in the world. The Smart Cookie, somebody who thinks that that's the only important thing, is having that intelligence up here, where we know we need well-rounded. The Sour Grape, and then The Big Cheese is all about winning, and learning to overcome that mindset. So any of these books by Jory John and P. Oswald would be fantastic books to incorporate. You can even do a whole series. And bonus, one of the other things I love about this series is it has fantastic wordplay. So if you're looking to supplement a lesson or a unit that you're doing with some fun wordplay, this series is great for that. I have 2 more books for you, so stay tuned because you do not want to miss these final 2 books that fill my heart every single year as we read them aloud. Book number 9 is a book titled Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson. So I know I've already given one of her books, but this book is also a fantastic read. So it's all about a chance that you have to be kind, and when you're not, how you can deal with that regret. And so really having the students understand what that means. If you have this chance, you miss that opportunity, how to overcome that and be ready for that in the next opportunity. And it is such a powerful story for students. It especially deals with some terms of diversity and racism. So if you want to focus on some of that during your social emotional learning in your classroom, this has some great segues into conversations on how to deal with those things and learn how to work together as a society. Kids are amazing when it comes to these conversations, and we want to make sure they continue as the future. You can have the students write out about a time when maybe they missed the chance to be kind, or maybe they have a regret when they should have been kind and they weren't. That would be a great discussion starter for this book. All right, and my final book that I'm going to share with you today, if you are loving this, make sure you hit that like button down below. But the final book I'm going to share with you today is We Are All Wonders by R.J. Palacio. This is a picture book that is based off of her actual novel that she has written, but great for when you are wanting to do a quick read aloud in your classroom. Again, going back to that kindness and empathy and inclusion, such an important social emotional skill for our students. There's even tons of resources that are available online for this book as well. There's a Choose Kind challenge that you can participate in. You can have the kids do so many things that go with this book, and if they love it, you can share with them that there is a chapter book so that they could read a full chapter book. It is a fantastic novel, also has been created into a live movie, so all kinds of ways to share that love with your students in the classroom. There you go, 10 amazing books that you can use to teach social emotional learning skills in your classroom, with maybe a few extra bonus books added, sprinkled in there for you. I hope you found some new favorites that you can add to your classroom library. If you have other suggestions for teachers, drop those in the comments below. The more we can share and learn from each other, the better off we will all be as a teacher world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. And until next time, I love this journey for you.